Hey folks, this is Arcaden here with another story video. I've been playing Elden Ring Nightreign lately, and there's this background story that I've found surprisingly touching. It's about two characters, the Wylder and the Duchess, and this secret that they slowly discover over the course of the game which bonds them together. It's a lovely little story, especially for an action game, and so I wanted to do a video about it. Don't worry if you don't know anything about Elden Ring or Nightreign, this video is designed to give you all the context you need, so let's get started with a little bit of background. Spoilers ahead. The story of Nightreign begins with the Shattering, which is a long, brutal war that ravaged the land. The Shattering played a very specific role in the original story for Elden Ring, but Nightreign is actually an alternate history that diverges from that moment. And in this history, this brutal war gave way to a plague that would cover the land for eons. Sometime after the war was over, a body rose up from a pile of corpses. This was the knight Hjolstor. He looked around and saw that he had failed to protect his country, his loved ones, and so he bitterly cursed the world, becoming the first Night Lord. This curse brought the Night to the country of Limveld, and the Night was a corrupting force that would slowly destroy the land and its history. It lasted for countless generations. Over time, new Night Lords appeared, adding their power to help enforce the corruption of the Night. Many of these Night Lords had their own tragic past. A young pup, driven from his community because of his deformed body. There's a champion whose companions abandoned him and he was left alone just with his faith. Or a pair of insects whose homeland was destroyed by the Night, and together they went to find a new home. These Night Lords, 8 in total, all worked together to destroy Limveld. But the world was not without hope. A mysterious figure we know only as the Formless Master sent out a call to heroes that pulled them to this place called the Round Table Hold. There they would fight together to extinguish the Night. These individuals were called the Nightfarers, or the Condemned. Our story today is about the Wylder and the Priestess, who also goes by the name Duchess. So if you hear either of those, that's talking about the same person. The Wylder is the first Condemned we meet. He is a warrior from a nomadic clan, and he comes to the Round Table Hold injured. Like the rest of the Condemned, his memory of events before the Hold are mostly gone. With the exception of a few fragments here and there, the Condemned exists solely in the present. When he first arrives at the Round Table Hold, he meets the Priestess, a mysterious robed figure. The Priestess runs the Hold, and she serves as the mouthpiece for the power that is pulling all of the Condemned together to fight the Night, the Formless Master. We learn in their first conversation that each of the Condemned who have come to the Round Table Hold are marked by sins in their past, and are here in part for redemption. The Wylder has one thing that directly connects him to his past. In his pocket, a single rusted earring from his tribe. The earring has a unique design so that when he holds it up to the light, it reflects in a special way, and he could almost see some sort of phrase or meaning in it. He thinks if he had both earrings, the meaning might be clear. Like the rest of his fellow Nightfarers, the Wylder falls into a pattern in the Round Table Hold, where 3 of them together go on expeditions to challenge each of the Night Lords with the hope of eventually finding and facing the primordial Night Lord, Hjolstor. One night, Wylder has a dream where he is galloping across a field with a woman whose name he cannot remember. However, he sees clearly that she's wearing an earring, the same as the one that he holds. Later in the Round Table Hold, he discovers that very same earring on the workstation of the Iron Menial. The Menial tells him that the earring belongs to the Priestess of the Hold, and she had given it to the Menial to ask him to repair it for her. Wylder takes this earring and holds both his and the repaired earring up to the light and sees an image direct from his dream of the 2 horses galloping side by side. In this moment he knows his dream was real, and the woman in his dream is the Priestess. He returns the earring to her, and she thanks him.
This is a thing of great value to me. A compass that will lead me to someone dear.
The Priestess has been at the Hold for longer than any of the Condemned. She has met the Wylder and his compatriots many times over the course of eons. Her role is to lead the Round Table Hold to victory over the Night, and she does this with the help of the Menial. The Iron Menial has been at the Round Table Hold for generations. Originally, he was designed as a marionette soldier, which were soldiers that were focused on protecting sorcerers of a famous magic academy called Rea Lucaria. However, he was repurposed to serve the Round Table Hold. He has known the priestess for countless years and has come to care greatly about her and her fate. As his role, he mends the weapons, offers polite historical insight, and even fruitlessly tries to recreate a specific bread that the priestess has told him about that she remembers from her childhood. Initially, the priestess does not fight, but at one point, one of the Nightfarers finds an old pocket watch on the expedition and gives it to her. This is an item from her past. In her life before the Round Table Hold, the priestess was known as the Duchess, and she served a noble lord as sort of a virtuous thief. At one point, the priestess became pregnant, and the pregnancy was corrupted by the night. What that did was it prevented her from ever giving birth, forcing the pregnancy to continue endlessly. To change this, she had to make what the game says is the sacrifice of her life, which I'm assuming is the commitment to run the Round Table Hold. This allowed her to give birth. She orphaned the child who was corrupted by the night. Seeing the watch reignites the priestess's desire to fight, and in a very dramatic, anime-ish way, she reveals her other identity as the Duchess, the virtuous thief. At some point after the Wylder's arrival, his fellow condemned notice that he seems depressed, far away. The raider, a former pirate, tells the Duchess that maybe she could find something to help him repair his weapon. That always makes the raider feel better.
Times like these, finding something simple to focus on can help clear the mind.
The priestess/duchess goes on an expedition and notices some golden dew, and she knows that this golden dew is a powerful tool to mend weapons. Back at the Round Table Hold, she gives it to the Wylder, who is surprised. The unique power of the dew seems to be something known just to his culture.
I can use that, but where did you learn it works for weapon care? Did I? Well, not that it matters. Here you go. A token of thanks.
He gives her faded iron coins that he has from his life in the past. We soon learn that there's more going on with the Wylder than just this, emo boy sadness thing. The injury that he sustained before coming to the Round Table Hold has weakened him. The Revenant, another fellow condemned, who is also a doll, tells the Duchess that she senses the Wylder is dying. While the other condemned will be freed from the hold after the night is vanquished, this injury means the Wylder will likely instead die. Concerned for his welfare, the priestess searches for the Wylder in the Round Table Hold. She finds signs of his activity. There's some flour spilled on the ground, a warm workstation in the kitchen. A lovely smell guides her to the side of the castle where the Wylder sleeps next to a plate of freshly baked pita bread. She tastes the bread and thinks, I know this taste. And suddenly a memory of her mother flashes in her mind. The Wylder then tells her that this recipe was taught to him by his mother. And it's this moment that the priestess realizes that she and the Wylder are brother and sister. That long ago they lived together as the son and daughter of the leader of a nomadic tribe. She also knows that should they succeed on their mission of ending the night, her brother will die. The Wylder has made some discoveries of his own. Guided by the Iron Menial, who is aware that the priestess and Wylder are brother and sister, he explores the hold. It's through this exploration sequence that we learn a good amount of lore about the game. Underneath the Round Table Hold is a crypt where the original 8 condemned lay. These original 8 condemned had sin that they felt could not be absolved even by beating the night, it was so great. So instead they created a pact where they would sacrifice themselves, and as a result of that sacrifice, each of their descendants would be drawn to the hold, generation after generation, fighting until the night was vanquished. However, the Duchess, the priestess, is unique. She is connected to the hold in a more fundamental way, a cornerstone. In the crypt, the menial tells the Wylder that the fate of the priestess and the hold are linked. Once the Night Lord is defeated, the Round Table Hold will likely cease to exist. The other condemned will continue on, their sin absolved, but the priestess, due to her special relationship, will cease to exist along with the hold. Outside on the beach, the Wylder confronts the priestess about this. She seems resigned.
Once we're done, it will be goodbye.
That night, the Wylder dreams about the event that brought him to the hold. There was a brutal battle where all the members of his clan, his father, his friends, they were all cut down, and he was the lone survivor, and therefore the only one left that could avenge his clan from the night. And so that is why he traveled to the hold. But like his sister, he is now confronted with the knowledge that achieving the vengeance that he so desires will result in the death of his beloved sibling. The Wylder wakes from this dream and finds a note and a key left next to him by the recluse, another condemned. The key opens a chest that the priestess keeps kind of hidden near the crypt. In the chest, the Wylder finds a note that the Priestess stole that reveals that there is potentially a way for her to live on after the death of the Night Lord. If the Round Table Hold is reformed and a new night falls, she might be freed from her fate. The Wylder consults with the witch and she tells him that there is a special item that might help him save his sister. A silver tear, hidden in Noklateo, the Shrouded City. This is a magic item that can help change someone's form. And with that knowledge, the Wylder begins to form a plan. Throughout all of this, the brother and sister never talk directly about what is happening. They continue on their missions to save the other in secret, and despite their great love for each other, they only show affection in small ways, through gestures or small gifts. They know who the other is, but they don't speak of it. There are two endings to this relationship, depending on whose story you follow. Thanks to the counsel of her fellow condemned, the Priestess is starting to believe that she might be able to both vanquish the Night Lord and save her brother. She consults with her friend, the Iron Menial. He lets her know that if perhaps there was a fetish, which is a man-made object imbued with a supernatural power, that was connected to the outside world and was given to the Wylder, that might be enough to help him survive the end of the Round Table Hold, serving as sort of a bridge from the hold back to life. Luckily, the Priestess has such an object. The coins from her homeland that her brother gave her in thanks for helping him mend his weapon. She blesses them at the Round Table Hold, creating a blessed coin. In their last conversation, the Priestess touches her brother on the shoulder and says they will defeat the Night Lord. But this is not just an affectionate gesture. In that moment, she lifts a medallion from his wardrobe, and before her final expedition, she places it in her hair, something to remember him by. She leaves the menial in charge of ensuring the fetish is properly used to save the Wylder's life. And as the Duchess, she goes and challenges the primordial Night Lord, and is victorious. Upon the Night Lord's defeat, a new version of the Round Table Hold appears. The Priestess walks to it, and in it there's a desiccated body, perhaps the body of the Formless Master. The Priestess gives the Night Lord's rune to this body, and then disappears, dissolving into a few lights of grace. The Priestess will never know whether her plan worked. She had only hope that her brother would live on. If you follow the Wylder's path, the ending looks a bit different. The Wylder goes on a quest to the Shrouded City where he finds the item the witch told him about, the silver tear that can change form. Back at the hold, he sees the Duchess has left a brooch for him. In their culture, this type of gift is meant as a promise to fight side by side forever. He now knows that this will never happen, but still he pins the brooch to his outfit, and hopes that a sacrifice might enable his sister to have a life beyond the Round Table Hold. The Wylder challenges the primordial Night Lord and is victorious. Upon his victory, the Round Table Hold appears, but unlike his sister, he does not walk towards it. Instead, he approaches the body of the Night Lord and uses the silver tear. The Wylder is then transformed into a new Night Lord. The hope was that this will create a new night, recreate the Round Table Hold, and in that recreation release the Priestess from her fate. But just as his sister will never know if her plan to save her brother worked, the Wylder will never know whether his sister survives. And perhaps even worse, he doesn't even think of it. To save his sister, the Wylder has transformed himself into a vessel for the night. And the night does not care about such things. Thanks for watching, folks.